Hello! Welcome to another archaeogastronomical adventure. With me, Thomas Dinas, and this is The Delicious Legacy. On today's recipe, I'm preparing and cooking a superbly marinated mutton recipe, inspired by both Apicius, the infamous Roman Gourmand, and the glorious Greek feasts in the epics of Homer. Let's light the fire first to create our embers. Always use good quality charcoal or wood and use natural fire lighters. You don't want to taint the meat with chemicals. And light the fire from the top for a clear and smokeless fire. A gentle birdsong ebbs above. Abating momentarily, a stillness settles. A serenity. It's the last beautiful day of the summer. Everything seems perfect. For our marinade, we use milk, honey, black pepper, and asafoetida. The marinade will work best if the mutton is left in the mix for at least 6 hours, but best to leave it overnight. This way, all the aromas will infuse the meat. But what is asafoetida though? Isn't it a potent Indian powder? Well, yes and no. The ancient Greeks and Romans loved a plant called Sylphium, a relative of asafoetida, a crossbreed of sorts, of a pungent, leeky garlicky fennel plant that in the Mediterranean had gone extinct around 100 AD, or so the legend goes. Here we use organic mutton which has been dry aged, and I will give you some links in the video description below where to find some delicious, amazing English mutton. Make sure the ingredients are all well mixed and the marinade covers the meat adequately. This recipe works well also with a whole leg or other cuts that will require a long, slow cooking time. So you can marinate them overnight, make sure that the marinade covers the meat, and then you can slow cook it in a wood fire oven or something. Now, a lot of people are confused as to what mutton is and the stereotypes that surround it. Mutton's simply the meat of an older sheep, 2 years and above. Lamb is less than a year old typically. Yet, because it's older, it doesn't mean it's less flavorful or tougher or lacking in any other delicious substance. Organic pasture-fed and properly hung like beef to dry age, mutton is simply a complex, dark and beautiful meat to cook with, and not only for stews, but chops and skewers on the barbecue. Yes, it has richer fat, but that helps us with the cooking process. This way it won't dry or burn quickly on the holy embers. At some point, at the middle of last century, mutton fell out of favour from the British table. It was regarded as inferior. Instead, lamb won our table. But I can assure you, its popularity continued unabated in Greece, Balkans and the Middle East for a reason. Roasted sheep, goats, lambs and kids, and in some circumstances, oxen, were the first sacrifices made to the gods. Whether in Homer or Virgil or in the Old Testament, ancient literature is full of accounts of sacrifices, with the meat roasted over the fire, its odor rising to heaven to please the deity, and its sizzling fat mingled with aromatic herbs anointing the altars. Greek, Roman and Chaldean priests read the future in the entrails and liver of sacrificial animals. We are now ready to make our salad, our vegetarian accompaniment to our ancient meat recipe for the feast. This is my own recipe and is inspired by ingredients from the ancient Greek world, a homage to my ancestors. So I'm using cooked, boiled pearl barley, a very important cereal in ancient Greece, especially given the poor soil and the small area of arable land that existed in mainland Greece. Together with barley, feta cheese was another staple, and an ancient cheese which some people say the process of how to make it is clear in Odyssey, when Odysseus is trapped in the cave with the one-eyed giant son of the god Poseidon, Polyphemus, the Cyclops. Pomegranates were a sacred fruit and mentioned in ancient Greek mythology. Spring onions, fennel and walnuts, all staples of every farmer's table. Together with grapes and figs, all these are the delicious, abundant ingredients of the late summer and autumn feast, essential to every Greek. And this can be fresh or dried, as is the case with our raisins here on the video recipe. Extra virgin olive oil, pomegranate molasses and verjuice, which is the extract of sour grapes, make the holy trinity of our salad dressing. Now toss well and mix the ingredients together, and it's ready. While we're preparing the salad, our marinated mutton skewers were getting smoked by our ash-covered charcoal. And as every ancient Greek worth his salt, I too use flatbreads to serve my skewers. Greedy for all the amazing flavors as I am, I do not want to waste any of the gorgeous juices from the meat on the fire. Instead, I want to impart maximum flavor into the bread. So while the meat is grilling, I rub and press the bread on the meat, turn the skewers over and rub all over again. With everything ready, it's time to eat. Our guests and me have waited enough. Free the meat from the skewers over the flatbread. Drizzle a generous amount of red onion, parsley and preserved lemon relish. This combo of ingredients complements the robust taste of the skewers in an excellent manner. Divide into plates for the hungry guests and serve alongside a generous portion of our ancient summer salad, a delicious unique flavor combo straight from a symposium of an Athenian citizen. With every mouthful, I can taste history, and so I hope you too. Enjoy.